So I was thinking up some good headlines for economic articles written by authors that have no idea what they're talking about. And so I wrote some on my fan sub Reddit, and I'm also going to think up some right now. So one was, these 70-year-old CEOs just figured out how to get millennials working house plants, because everybody knows that if you give a millennial a house plant, they'll start working and all the problems will go away. Here's another one. These millennials want to be paid minimum wage, and that's a problem. Period. Like, they would write you would put a period at the end of the sentence. That's why I said that. Because, the biggest problem are millennials wanting to be paid. The biggest problem are millennials wanting to be paid money. Like, what's their deal? And then, of course, the very next day, I would write an article with a headline that says, "Why aren't millennials buying anything?" And I would pretend that I didn't even write the article yesterday where I talked about how millennials shouldn't be paid money. Or I could say, millennials are buying houses faster than ever. Of course, that's a lie. But I can just make up all my data. Who cares? It's not like anybody's going to check. And if they do, I'll just call them a liar and say, well, if you guys are so smart, you should have written an article about it. But you didn't. I did. That makes me the right person. And then a day later, I'll say, millennials aren't buying houses and nobody knows why. Because I'm a big jerk. I'm just that kind of person. Constantly lying about everything. Why won't this millennial go to the doctor? The answer might surprise you. And of course, the actual answer is they don't have any money. But the whole article will be about the millennials talking about how they're trying to do everything naturally or something dumb. And then at the very bottom, it'll say also they don't have any money and they don't have a job. But the article will come to the conclusion that the millennial doesn't go to the doctor because they hate science or something dumb. They hate healthcare. Man, I could become an out-of-touch economist. Man, they make everything up. Man, like how did they get those? How did those out-of-touch economy journalists get their jobs? Because they clearly don't have any idea what they're talking about. And a lot of times they don't even understand like the basics of how the U.S. economy even works. Like, they don't understand that if somebody works somewhere, they get paid money, or they're supposed to be paid money. Like, that this just blows some of these out-of-touch economists' minds. Like, people want to be paid money for working. They don't want to work for free. That's weird. And they just take all the data for what it is. They say, oh, these graphs, they can't possibly both be right. You can't have wages going down and unemployment going down. But they obviously have to be right. There's nothing else going on. And as a journalist, it's my job to repeat and regurgitate information I find and not to do any research of my own. Because all the classic journalists, they never did any research. Like Woodward and Bernstein, they didn't do any research at all. They didn't talk to anybody. They didn't talk to any guy named Deep Throat. They just found some letters that were mailed to them, and then they typed those into a typewriter, and they published it in a newspaper. And that's how people found out Nixon had some dudes break into a Democratic Party hotel room or whatever it was. I don't remember. I'm a millennial. I don't remember these things. And I don't care. So there's no such thing as research in journalism. Another thing I can do is pad out my article with lots of pointless crap. Like I'd write about the color of everybody's clothes, what I ate that day, the drive on over to wherever I pretended to go, but I didn't actually go anywhere. I just interviewed somebody over the phone. I'd talk about the guy's hair. I'd say this guy, and I'd always say, this guy is professional and he's wearing a suit. Because everybody knows that business people don't wear suits. Very unusual. And that's something I would need to spend like 10 paragraphs talking about. The clothes they're wearing. And I'd write it in a way that makes it sound like these billionaires are actually very poor. Like, even though he has $10 billion, he can barely afford 10 houses. And that sucks for him. And that's why we need to support him. This is the hypothetical person in my Outoftouch economy article. Wish I had somebody to talk to. Because essentially I'm having a conversation with myself here. Very difficult. If you've ever wondered why, like, essentially every single podcast has at least 2 people, it's so they can have a conversation. Or else it's somebody just sitting there trying to think things up and then patting themselves on the back for saying things that they agree with because they're saying it. Or sometimes, like a person named Jimmy Dore, he has people that are just sitting off to the side applauding everything he says, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter what he says, somebody's saying, ha ha ha, yeah, that's right. Who the hell are these people? No, I don't watch his videos either. Every time I watch one, I get very angry at him. I can't remember why I get angry. But it's like every time I watch, like, wow, this guy reminds me of Rush Limbaugh. Except potentially even dumber. Which when you think about it, that's amazing. Like you might think, who could be dumber than Rush Limbaugh? A millennial. Right here. I'm going to write an article about that. It could be called, the headline will be, Who's Dumber Than Rush Limbaugh? Millennials. That'd be pretty cool. I'd get a lot of clicks and views on that one. I wonder if I'd get paid by the word. I hope so. Really pad that article out. Well, I've got to go eat my avocado toast. See you guys later.